So folks, those of you who are regular viewers to LandPowerTV.com may have seen in a previous episode that we did an absolutely cracking behind the scenes piece with Kramp UK, which is an international parts specialist. In fact, we did one better than that, and we actually tracked an order all the way from the dealership, where it was placed, all the way through the warehouse, through the picking process, through to dispatch. We tracked it, and then we ended up back at the dealership to receive that order. Like I say, it was absolutely fascinating insight into Kramp UK, and yeah, talk about a lesson in logistics. Well, we are back here once again because they are having an open day, and to tell us all about it, we've got Leo Copping, who you may have seen at Lammer, who is a victim at Lammer as well, but we've got him back again. All his colleagues are behind here and said Leo's doing it. So Leo, what is today all about?
So today's a bit of an opportunity to show some farmers what we do as a business. We've brought farmers in with their dealers to come and see how Kramp Online works, meet some of our suppliers, and have a bit of a tour of the warehouse and see some amazing facilities that we've got. And
what has general reaction been like? Because I know when I was here last time and I saw that warehouse, it's mind-blowing.
I know, yeah, that's exact words that people used to us yesterday when we did this as well. They said it is mind-blowing. The scale of the operation here is just on another level. I see it as boxes in a big warehouse.
Yes.
And maybe
just a lot of numbers.
but it is fascinating. The shuttle system, the efficiency, the way that we pick, the way that we pack, the automatic box machine. Yeah, it is a fascinating operation, and it's quick.
So today, and for the last couple of days and tomorrow as well, we've got, well, you've put up this marquee where we can see a lot of your suppliers and, you know, some of your own suppliers as well. It's the Farmers' Day today, so have you had other industries here as well, or other parts of the industry as well?
Yeah, so we had the Agricultural Dealers Day yesterday, and then tomorrow we've got Forest and Grass Care Dealer Day as well.
Good stuff. Well, I won't keep you, Leo. You're a busy man, you've got lots to do. So what we're going to do, ladies and gents, we're going to have a little look around this marquee, catch up with some of the key suppliers and a few other guest interviews as well. So stick around. So Stuart, farming footwear, always a good topic of conversation in the pub. Obviously you're with Rossi Boots.
Correct.
We're here at the Kramp Open Day, so what are you showing off for us today?
Okay, I'll give you an understanding of Rossi Boots as what we are as a brand. Rossi Boots is a 114-year-old work boot brand, footwear brand from Australia, primarily focusing on elastic-sided footwear. Our core market is the agricultural market, and our work boots are made for a functional purpose in that market segment. I'll just point out probably a couple of the key features of what our product is. All of our leathers are full grain kip leathers. Basically, it's the life cycle of a beast. Our leathers are actually in the age of a mature teenager. So the leathers are actually at their prime, like we all are as young teenagers. The leathers are actually 2.2 to 2.4 mil thick. They're colour dyed right through. They actually give a nice natural feel. The leathers are at that point of thickness where they're near waterproof by abilities. Also, we have a very strong elastic, which is triple stitched at the top, which means it doesn't fray, warp, lose its shape. This is consistent in all our products, no matter whether it's safety, non-safety. The leathers may change in colour, but the consistency is the same. Full grain kip leather. Now, why I say full grain is some businesses use what's called a split leather. We don't use a split leather. We use a full grain. So it's a nice thick piece of leather. The actual sole on most of our core product is nitrile rubber, oil, acid, animal fat, high level rating for withstanding those environments. Obviously, it's a big thing in the farming game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Also, it's an engineered air cushion sole. One thing that's probably is a thermal property. The actual sole is rated to 300 degrees melt point. Now, what that means is if you're angle grinding or you're welding and you're creating sparks, your sole won't be affected. The other thing is that the sole also, James, provides an engineered ergonomic fitting, so they're very comfortable underfoot. So from a foot fatigue issue, if you're on your feet all day, you're on a cold, hot, hard surface, Rossi Boots will give you a high level of resistance from having foot fatigue. A lot of times your feet get sore, get tired at the end of the day, not because of the terrain you're on, but because the boot you're wearing doesn't fit you properly, isn't giving you enough comfort, and your feet are actively working in your subconscious to keep you in your boot. The one thing that we've got the thicker tread for a higher level of grip. This is the biggest seller in the agricultural market for us in Australia.
Right, so what model's that one? What do you call that?
That's the 303 Endura.
That's your big hitter.
Yeah, this is the granddad of the business.
Right.
This has been in the business for 35 years, and it's still our #1 seller.
Yeah.
The other product we've got, which is the same model, we just changed the sole to give it a lower tread, a lower profile tread.
Yeah.
Won't pick up muck, won't cart stones, mud into wherever you're going. We actually call this one paddock to pub.
Right.
So this is a work boot that you can work in, day in, day out. But if you want a boot that's versatile by being able to work in it in the yard, but also tied it up and just
Stop off on the pub on the way home.
absolutely pick up the kids or whatever, you've got a boot that'll do the job.
Feeding cattle at 6, got them in the pub by 8, that sort of thing.
That's it. That's the life. We also do nice big leather lugs. So for those big farming fingers, they can get in there and pull them on.
And lugs that aren't going to get ripped off either, I hope.
Absolutely. That's a nice thick piece of leather. I don't know where you can see it there, but probably, James, that we've refined it to be a functional category of footwear that's easy, it's reliable, it ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, and not too showy.
Not too showy.
Yeah.
Again, you can wear these pretty well everywhere, but, we do make them for a practical, functional purpose, which is to give you comfort, reliability, protection. In actual fact, not a big one for you guys over here, but our leathers are actually that thick and that strong. They're actually snake bite proof.
I was about to say these bite proof as well.
Yeah. So those nasty grass snakes you've got over here,
Just in case they decide to turn
just
violent.
in case they go, you're safe in a pair of Rossies.
Oh, spot on. Well, Stuart, thank you very much for your time. That's been absolutely perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, James.
So we offer a wide variety of seats for agriculture, material handling, construction, truck, bus, railway. We're we're the market leader for suspended seats for off-road use. We supply most of the major OEM brands from the Agco Group, John Deere, New Holland, Case, all the way through to Liebherr, Junheinrich, Leon Group. So we supply a very wide range.
Pretty much everyone. So chances are, if you sat in any tractor in the UK, or pretty much most of the world, there's a good chance you'll have sat on one of your seats, is there?
More than likely at some point, yes. The seats essentially are built as building blocks. So we talk about suspensions at the bottom, and then a seat top at the top, and in the middle there'll be a multifunctional armrest plate that will allow that multifunctional armrest to sit on the seat, attached to the seat. So the armrest is obviously then moving up and down with the seat, and you're not getting your arm moving like this, which is uncomfortable. So most of the seats you can integrate and swap. So you could take an OEM seat out and take one of our aftermarket products that's supplied by Kramp and put that in. So you come to us or you come to Kramp with a model, or your Kramp dealer with a model, and from that they'd be able to ascertain whether it was an MSG 95, an MSG 85, an MSG 97 suspension, and that would be the starting point. And then it would be what features you want on the seat top. So do you just want a very basic seat with a foam top and bottom? Do you want armrests? Do you now want heating? Do you want fore aft isolation? Do you want lots of different features? And then you can build that seat using our standard seats, but you could go, right, okay, well I might want a Comfort Plus, but actually for not a little bit more I can have a Professional or a Dynamic, which offers greater features and greater levels of comfort. The seats are an independent item within the cabin a lot of the time, but we do something called low frequency. So when cabins started becoming suspended, the normal seat, they cancelled each other out. You didn't get the benefit. So we ended up having to do a low frequency suspension, and that's where you'll see the MSG 95, for example, and it might say G or A, and then afterwards there might be a letter, an L, and that L stands for low frequency.
All right.
And that's what gives you that. It's a different frequency that they work at, so they work in harmony rather than cancelling each other out and working against each other.
So you've got quite a few seats on display here. Maybe just talk us through what you've got, what you're showing off today.
So we have over here we have a Comfort Plus, which is a more of an entry-level seat. So it's got a 721 cushion, so a slightly thinner cushion, but it has got depth and angle adjustment. It's got fore aft isolation and the automatic suspension. You then go up to a dynamic, and the dynamic again, both 95 suspensions, but the dynamic has on it heating, thicker cushions, it has a turntable, it has not only fore aft isolation, so the suspension moves backwards and forwards as well as up and down, it moves side to side as well, so it's got lateral suspension on it. As I said, it's got heating and it's a higher spec. And then you come up to something like our Evolution. So this, you sit on it, you don't have to touch anything, you sit on it and it adjusts to your weight. You've then got a certain amount of height adjustment in it, 50mm up, 50mm down. It's got things like cooling, 2-stage heating, air lumbar support. It's got our dual motion headrest.
Nice.
So when you're looking behind, you can sit at an angle in the seat, hence why the armrest is sculptured.
Yeah.
And you can still look behind you while being able to look forward at the same time.
And just knock it out of the way with your elbow.
Elbow one way, elbow back the other way.
And finally, the last one on your left there. What's
This is a material handling seat. So this would traditionally go in forklifts. This is the new 2.7 seat top with a multifunctional armrest that we were talking about earlier, so to operate the machine. There's an adapter brackets that allow that to be fitted. This is an electronic suspension, so you sit on it and adjust your weight, but then you've got height adjustment here. And then it's got fore aft isolation. A little bit different in this type of seat top and in this machine, because the suspension and the base of the seat are one.
Right.
Unlike this, where the seat top is separate, that's a seat pan and backrest pan bolted to a suspension.
Yeah.
The seat pan and the top of the suspension are one plate. So to get the fore angle, the fore aft isolation and the angle adjustment, we had to develop it into one. So it comes forward and slides up.
All right.
It's all in one. Again, 2-stage heating, got cooling function on it. It's also got the dual motion headrest on it. So yeah, fully functioning seat. And then obviously we've got things like the Actimo, which you would see more traditionally in combine harvesters, sprayers, that kind of equipment.
Yeah. Well, Simon, thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you.
Absolutely spot on that.
RABI is the Royal Agricultural Benevolent Institution, and we are a farming charity that operates across England and Wales, and we have been doing for 165 years. And we are here to help the farming community through practical support, financial support and emotional support. Our financial support is kind of the support that everyone knows us for, so we can give out grants to help people in a tricky time. For example, we help with, the last 3 years, a back to school grant to help with the cost of going back to school. We've also helped with winter fuel, the cost of winter fuel prices, and with a grant with that. We also help with one-off grants and all sorts of different things where people may be worrying about what financial situation they're in. Our practical support can help with claiming benefits. We actually help claim at least £500,000 every year in state benefits, making sure people have the right benefit that matches them. Also, people just need a bit of help at looking at a situation. They may need some advice or some support in knowing which other organisation to go to, so we do signposting as well. And our emotional support covers traditional counselling, and we've also got a wonderful click and chat service where people can go online and chat to a counsellor online. So our help is vast, it's wide, it's for everyone, and we're tailored towards people's needs, so every case is different. So it may be that you need help with some traditional counselling, which you can access through our helpline number, our free phone helpline number that is operational 24/7. And you get to speak to a counsellor on the phone or via video call, and you can have 1 session, 6 sessions, 10 sessions, however many sessions you feel like you want that will help you. And as I said, our click and chat service is really useful because it's a platform online where you can pick up topics that you can read about. There's blogs, so you can chat to other people that may be in the same situation as you, and you can book online a time to talk to a counsellor. And as we know, waiting times through the NHS, it can be very long, and so this is a great opportunity for those within the farming community to be able to access this kind of help and support. We also do mental health first aid training as well, so I encourage everyone and anyone in the farming community to go and try one of these training opportunities, even if it's not with RABI, with another provider, because it just gives you the knowledge of what mental health is and the full spectrum of how it can affect people, and how it's good to just keep checking in with people, asking people how they are. Can I help? Can I support? It's hugely important. And as we know, the farming community do work a lot by themselves. And if they're feeling one way and they don't get to see people regularly, that feeling actually becomes normal and they don't feel like there's a problem. People need to reach out and talk to people, as well as, put their hand up and say, maybe I do need a bit of help. And RABI is here, we can help in so many different ways. So I think when you are feeling like something's not quite right, you're a bit overwhelmed, are there reasons for feeling overwhelmed? Is it that you're worried about your children or your family? Is it that you're worried about all the bills, all the money worries, any debt and things like that? And I would urge anyone, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're not quite sure what that feeling is, just give RABI a call and have a chat to our welfare officers about what's going on. Because we could potentially, if your worries are to do with money, we can then potentially help with some domestic grants, with some support like that, and then say, let's go and speak to the counsellor, and they may be able to help with understanding your worries and anxieties. But also reach out to others. Everyone has hopefully a good network of support from friends and family, and they will. I'm sure everyone would want to help an individual in crisis potentially. So just reach out to people and talk to people. But RABI are always here to help, and it is brave to pick up the phone and ask for help, but please do it. Please, be brave and do that. So the simplest, fastest route to get in touch with RABI is to ring their helpline number. So our helpline number is open 24/7. It's a free phone number, so really simple, and it's on all, or go onto the website, you'll be able to see it all there. If you prefer to email, we can also do help@rabi.org.uk. So.
Excellent stuff. And just one more. Is RABI just for farmers, or does it reach out to the wider agricultural community?
For the farming community, farming people. So that's farming families, but it may be the children, it may be the grandparents, farm workers, tenant farmers, so anyone in the farming community where they are making a living from the land, from the farm.
Excellent stuff. Lucy, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So folks, we are now with Tony Gardner from CRC Industries, who's got a lot to talk about today at the Kramp Open Day event. So Tony, where do you want to kick us off with? What have you got here?
Well, let's start with the smallest thing that we've got. We've got a rust, evaporust, which is a rust converter. Works by the process of chillation, only works on the rust, doesn't affect the steel or iron, anything that's in the product afterwards. Literally just pulls the rust off the product, derusts it, drops the rust, the iron sulfate down into the bottom of the tank, and then releases the oxygen up into the atmosphere.
That's it, just like that.
Just like that.
I've always wondered, because I've used rust converters before,
and they eat
on old rusty cabs, and it's like, what is this actually doing?
They eat the metal. They continue to eat the metal. This doesn't. Only works on the rust itself. Will stop.
And how's it know? How's it know to stop at the rust? Or stop with the rust?
Works by a process of chelation.
Yeah.
There's a big chemical in there which goes and grabs the iron oxide, pulls it off the metal,
right,
converts it to iron sulfate, drops the iron sulfate to the bottom of the tank, releases the oxygen up into atmosphere.
So that's one of your products.
Yeah.
What else have you got with you
Second
today?
one is a brand new product. It's a biodegradable multi-purpose oil.
Right. Go on, hit me with it.
So you've got standard multi-purpose oils, the likes of AC90, to swear WD-40.
Yeah.
This is a biodegradable WD-40, for want of a better way of putting it.
Right.
We've changed the oil. Everything's exactly the same. We've changed the oil, so it's a biodegradable oil.
Right.
That's it.
So what's the big demand for biodegradable oil then?
A lot of companies now are going down what we call an ESG route, environmental safety governance route.
Right.
So we're kind of looking at that kind of thing. Eventually they're going to take a lot of these solvents and things off us. Eventually. Not at the moment, fortunately.
Yeah.
We're still making them, they're still around, but eventually everybody's going green.
There you go, AC90. Remember that one.
It's the best one.
Full stop, the end.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Moving on then.
Moving on, the big machine. This could take a while.
Right.
So, what we have here is a bioremediating parts washer.
Right, fancy title.
Fancy title. The bioremediation works thanks to billions of microbes that we introduce through the filter mat. The filter mat lives under this skin here.
Yeah.
Once a week, you take the top layer off. Once a month, you change the filter mat. You introduce new microbes into the tank.
Right.
The filter mat filters out everything which is larger than 50 microns.
Which would be most stuff.
Most stuff. What gets through that is emulsified oils, greases and fats. They're emulsified by a water-based cleaner.
Right.
Which is what we call white label. There are no hazards on there. It's not flammable, it won't cause an irritant, it won't harm the little environment.
Right.
So that's where we are.
So if you're washing out, well, like we can see in there, you've got a gear in there. It could literally, it could be full of grease, it could be full of metal particles that have, been worn off it and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that'll catch all that, will it?
That will catch all that. This machine will take 120 kilos of weight into the sink.
Yeah.
So what you've got in the tank, you've got the fluid, you've got a heater, a pump, and a probe.
So it's all in one unit. It's
all in one unit.
Right.
Absolutely. The heater keeps the fluid at around 38-40 degrees, so it's nice and warm, the right temperature for the microbes.
Yeah.
The fluid will then clean the part. This is white spray grease that I've sprayed on there.
Right.
So you would expect the water to just run off it.
In theory. Look at that, it just breaks it up.
What it does, it reduces the degreaser will break the bond between the grease and the metal part.
Yeah.
And it just cleans it away.
And that's your SW4 that's doing that?
That's the SW4 that's doing that, yeah.
AKA Aussie Juice.
AKA Aussie Juice.
Right, so that breaks, like I say, breaks down the bonds of the grease, takes that off, and then, like I say, you got your filter underneath that.
So the filter will then filter all the parts, all the dirty bits out. The only thing that goes through is emulsified oils, greases, fats, which are then consumed by the microbes, keeping the fluid clean for cleaning the parts. You never throw the fluid away.
Really?
Never.
It just goes round and round
and round. It goes round and round and round. You will get some evaporation.
Yeah.
And you will get some bits where the part has wet and you take it away. So there is on the control box down there is a red light. When that comes on, you put 20 litres of fluid in.
Top it back up again?
Just top it back up.
Right, so you never have to empty this?
Never empty it.
And it won't, you know, you're not going to get sediment building up, particles
You
build.
do get a bit of sediment build up,
Right.
and we suggest that once every other year, you pump the fluid out back into your containers,
Yeah.
keep that fluid, clean the base out, put the fluid back in.
Through the filter.
You can change the filter,
Right.
you can just put it straight back into the tank.
Right, you can put it back in again.
Put it straight back in.
At what point would you want brand new fluid in this?
You wouldn't.
You don't?
You just keep topping it
up?
Yeah.
Right.
So when the red light comes on, you put 20 litres in. It's designed, the red light is designed so that when that red light comes on, 20 litres. Don't put 5 litres in, put 20 litres in.
So in that sense, it is very environmentally friendly.
Very, very environmentally friendly, yeah.
Because you're not washing something off and tipping that away.
Yes, yeah.
Well, Tony, that's brilliant. That
Thank you very
I've learnt
much.
a bit there,
Well,
definitely.
yeah,
So, thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, might see one of these around somewhere. Spot on.
Well, they're on the Kramp website.
Perfect. There you go. Get
There
that
you go.
sales picture at the end.
As is all of that.
You know where to find it, basically.
Absolutely.
Spot on.
Thank you.
My name's Sophie, I work for Karcher UK and I look after the agricultural key accounts which fall underneath the web of our Kramp agreement. So today we are showcasing our fantastic professional range. This is our A programme bits of machinery, so they're all handheld, very easy to move around and to get out on site. We range from our wet and dry vacuums, our sweepers, we've got our professional landscape management here which is all battery powered, and then we also have our hot water pressure washer just behind me, one of our best sellers in this industry. It's fantastic. Karcher itself is still a family-owned business to this day, with its headquarters still remaining in Banbury from the ripe old age of 1976. So we haven't moved and we don't have any plans to either.
Right, so like Kramp, Karcher itself is also a family business.
Yes, indeed.
Is that quite important to you guys, dealing with another family business?
Definitely so. So the reason for the Kramp partnership was because we have a global agreement with our headquarters in Germany, and we made the agreement work in the UK. But the values between both companies, the culture, they align so perfectly, and it is a true partnership that we have with Kramp here. We couldn't be more happy with the way things are going, and we're growing year on year. So thank you very much to the Kramp team for your commitment to the cause. We really appreciate it, and it's very exciting to be managing this partnership.
And in terms of the agricultural products, because that's what you'll specialise in through Kramp, I presume, is this sort of like the more heavy-duty end of the Karcher lineup, would you say?
Very honestly, no. This is the lighter end of the Karcher lineup.
lighter end?
Yeah, it's
Right.
the lighter end, so we go a lot bigger than this, up to ride-on bits of kit like our scrubber dryers and our sweepers. We do municipal implement carriers and road sweepers.
Oh, you do all sorts?
Yeah, we do all sorts.
Right.
Sort of dry ice cleaning. You've got the hot pressure washers here, which are absolutely brilliant. They go up to ultra-high pressure as well. That would take the paint off your tractors, though, so you've got to be a bit careful there. But no, it's a fantastic brand to work for, and we've got such a wide range of machinery and solutions on offer to the customers. We're just excited to be able to showcase them today.
So one way or another, you should be able to get a tractor clean.
Yeah,
one way or
exactly that.
another.
There's a Karcher for that. There's a Karcher for anything.
Nice. So the pressure washer behind you there, nice bit of kit. Just talk us through some of the features and the functions of that.
Yeah, so this is our best seller, especially in the agricultural market. It's called a HDS 612C. So you've got 600 litres an hour flow rate, which is quite a lot of cleaning potential there, with also 120 bar pressure. Now you've also got on the front an adjustable dial that will take you all the way up to 155 degrees, so you get the steam function there. So sanitisation without the need of detergent, which is brilliant for your poultry houses, your dairy farms, any sort of livestock management. That's where we want to put those machines.
And selling equipment abroad these days as well, you've got to get those squeaky clean as well.
Exactly that, exactly that. We operate in many countries across the globe, and we're only growing there as well. So usually we'll have a subsidiary somewhere to cater for you, definitely.
Cool, good stuff. Well, Sophie, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
So folks, I'm now joined by the boys from the legendary Machinery Nation. So we've got James here and we've got Josh over there, and I think we've picked the best spot to do an interview in the entire place because we're on the Grammar stand and we've got some very comfy seats. How's yours?
Very nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, right. So this open day by Kramp. What do you reckon? What do you make of it?
It is an impressive day, isn't it?
It's good to see behind the scenes, see what's going on, how your box turns up from ordering it from before 6 o'clock to next day. So yeah, really good.
And to be able to come and meet all the suppliers of Kramp, so you're meeting your supplier's supplier, is a great way to get behind the scenes and see where all these people are coming from. But also from a marketing point of view, they can meet the customers to get obviously feedback, because some of the brands might not have been in front of so many customers themselves, but with Kramp being able to put on these days, I think it makes a lot of sense to be able to get that information that the customer wants to get across to the actual manufacturer rather than just another distributor.
Has there been anything that's just blown your mind? Just anything really unexpected that you've learned today?
Probably the 15-metre racking high. That's for seeing how the forklifts work in there. And I didn't actually expect. I thought the forklifts would go up and pull a box off and pull it down, rather than actually sending a person up the forklift and then picking it at the top and then bringing it back down themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know about what yours.
Yeah, I'd echo that. Probably size of the company, how it all operates, and seeing a sort of brief history behind how it started as well, to being one of the biggest suppliers in Europe. So yeah, really good to see all of that.
And to see that 80% of their stock is in 20% of their building in the smaller area, whereas all the larger items, it makes it look really huge in scale, but when 80% of their stock is in a small area, you think, how is that possible? But being that it's smaller stock, it is pushed in small areas and it's all so much automation within a whole warehouse.
Did they take you all the way to the top as well? Did you get to the top of the building?
We got to the top of the building, but we didn't go up in the forklift. We weren't allowed, were we?
You weren't allowed to review forklifts. What a place to do it.
And so it's 2 degrees colder up there. So. But no, it's a breath of fresh air to see a really proactive company knowing what the end user wants as well as the dealer. So I think events like this really does open it up to every single customer throughout that chain as well, which is really good. So I think, yeah, they got their head screwed on, haven't they?
Well, that's it. So coming from your guys' point of view, you deal with a lot of components, parts, that kind of thing. How does sort of Kramp compare to maybe other suppliers from your guys?
We couldn't possibly say. No, to be fair, they definitely outshine pretty much most others that are on the market. And for them to admit that they do get problems, where you see so many companies where they can't actually open their eyes to see it, and no matter how much you beat that drum to some companies back when we were in our dealership days, and they don't think they've got a problem, and you can just see it from an end point of view, whereas Kramp seem to have got everything nailed from the beginning right to the end of that process.
Yeah, and it was like I say, it's refreshing today as well that they actually asked for, well, how can we be better? Quite decent feedback as well.
There was decent feedback. To be fair, the room was silent for a little while because no one had too much to moan about or say there was.
Most of it was pretty good.
It was.
That's it. Just the odd area here and there.
But I think they still go with that sort of aspect of that. No matter what we do, it can be better.
Yeah. Well, that's it. The moment you start thinking you've made it and you are it, that's when you start losing then, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, James, Josh, been cracking to catch up with you. I will let you guys crack on with the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
James.
Nice one.
Much appreciated.
Cheers.
So, when it comes to preventative maintenance, filtration, it's got to be well up there, hasn't it, Ashley?
It has. Yeah.
So, folks, we are now joined by Ashley from Donaldson, who's going to talk us through, the world of filters. What are you showing off today?
So we are showing off our range of filters. So we've got our air filters, we've got our oil filters, we've got our fuel filters, and some hydraulic, and even bulk filtration as well. So we're trying to make sure that people are educated about filtration, to understand that not all filters are the same. It seems to be a lovely phrase in the marketplace that a filter is a filter, but they're not necessarily. In fact, with us being an OE manufacturer originally, our filters are to OE spec. So we are keen to promote and help people understand filter maintenance and how to look after their equipment the best.
So what makes a proper filter? What should you sort of be looking for and what should you be avoiding?
So the key thing with an air filter comes down to the efficiency of the product. So there is a tendency for people to say that their efficiency is fantastic, and they can say it's 99% efficiency. We have a demonstration on the table, which is our filter block, which is a test piece. So this is a test for an air filtration system to show exactly how much dust goes through it and comes out the other side. So what we do is we take ISO dust, so a kilo of ISO dust, which is of a certain size, and every air filter manufacturer takes that test. And what we do is we put it, we blow it through the air filter and see what comes out the other side. So off that, from our tests, we have many other manufacturers will claim between 85 and 99% efficiency. 99% efficiency sounds fantastic. In
sounds
reality,
like it's really up there, doesn't it?
It sounds like it's really up there.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that we're keen to educate the market about, that 99% efficiency sounds great, but actually it's not as good as it sounds. So in this test, we take a kilo of dust, and in 99% efficiency, which I'm hoping you can see, and that is this one just here,
Right.
10 grams of dust will actually get through that air filter into the engine. So when somebody's saying they're 99% efficient, which sounds fantastic, it's actually not as good as it sounds.
They're still letting through a lot of
Exactly.
stuff.
So Donaldson filters are 99.99% efficient, which allows 0.1 gram through from a 1 kilo test.
Right.
So not all filters are the same. And when people say 99% efficiency, there's a misconception that that is actually a fantastic filter, when in reality it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it can cause quite a lot of damage that's unseen to the naked eye, so it can cause quite a lot of effect on people's engines. So that's obviously from the air filter side of things. We have our PowerCore technology, which is a leading technology for air filtration. So that is one of the best ways that people can protect their engines. In this example, we've literally got a cutaway, which we don't usually show, which shows the various different pleats within that PowerCore system, and it shows just how compact that air filter is, which is why many clients like the PowerCore system, because it's so compact. So this particular PowerCore has a vac valve on it, so I will pick it up just to demonstrate. So it would typically sit this way around. Okay, so the front is part of the initial cleaning for the system. So this has actually got what's basically cyclone technology in it. So what that does is it creates a centrifugal force which throws the larger particles out, and then they exit via the vac valve at the bottom.
And that's as it's pulling the air in, is it?
That is as it's pulling the air in.
Right, so it's creating all these swirls.
So each of these little holes is actually creating additional cyclones, which then creates centrifugal forces to throw it out the bottom. You can get extra pull on it by what you just said, which is a Venturi system, so you can add additional pull onto that system, which will make that pull harder, and then exit via the exhaust system on the unit as well. So there is other ways to do that, but it is, like I say, the most efficient way to go.
Yeah.
Similar things exist in two-stage air cleaners. This is a two-stage air cleaner. So similar thing, air goes in from the side, from this side, which is the air intake, and you can kind of see that we've got a technology around the outside again that allows the cyclone to happen. Yeah. And that again throws out through the vac valve on this side. These are really important. People miss vac valves quite regularly. It actually, if this is damaged or missing from your air cleaner, it actually affects that cyclone technology. It stops it happening. So in effect, instead of having a two-stage air cleaner, you end up with a single-stage air cleaner.
It'll just completely alter the airflow, won't it?
It will indeed. Yeah. So it's very important to replace this and look after your air cleaner, and to obviously make sure that your filters are correct. Yeah. We also are keen to educate people in this, that many people we speak to tell us that they blow their air filters out. It's actually not the best thing to do.
Is it not?
No. We only recommend that you tap air filters at the very most. Do not blow them. And the reason you shouldn't blow them is because it's possible to blow blow past the media into the clean side of the air filter with the dust. At which point you're then introducing contaminants to the wrong side and therefore potentially affecting your engine. You're also at risk of tearing the pleats within your media, and therefore, in effect, you don't have an air filter. It literally is allowing the air straight through and therefore introducing contamination into the engine.
It's just pointless at that stage.
So it's absolutely pointless at that stage. So we highly recommend that people don't run that.
A bit of a legacy thing that maybe once upon a time you could do it, or is it a case of actually really no one ever should have done it in the first place ever?
No one ever should have done it in the first place ever, and a lot of people do it. And I
am guilty.
Everybody's
guilty. I've done it for the last 20 odd years.
Exactly.
Right, that's me told not to do that one again.
There you go.
Right, we've definitely learned a massive lesson there. So we've talked a lot about air filtration. Let's talk about fuel. What are you offering?
So we've got two different types of fuel filter on the table. Donaldson have a technology which is known as twist and drain. So it's quite a simple technology for fuel filters to take the water out of your filter, and it's quite a simple system. So literally it's sat on there. Some people can change, you can do a bowl as well, so people do sometimes have bowls on the bottom. The water is separated from the diesel and it will literally drop into the bottom. You literally twist the bottom to empty the water out, twist it back, water's disappeared. You can get a bowl on it as well, but literally it's a fuel filter. So we do various different sizes for various different companies as well, so various different manufacturers. If you wanted to see all the different variants we do for fuel filters and oil filters and hydraulic filters, we do have our website, which is shop.donaldson.com. And you can put in any OE number and it will tell you whether we have a cross-reference in the Donaldson aftermarket range for those parts. So that's the easiest way. We work with our partners, Kramp being one of our partners obviously, and Kramp has a list of many of our products. They don't have the entire range on their website, but we do have 6,000 plus products in the Donaldson range. We also obviously have hydraulics as well, and we've actually just developed a new technology within the hydraulics range, which is known as Alpha Web.
Right.
Okay, so currently, the testing for a hydraulic system is a static-based test. So the easiest way to think about it is you have your filter on a unit and you have the fluid going in on a single direction. So particles in, goes through the filter, and we count the particles out. Okay, so the easiest way to think of it, particles in, particles out.
Yeah.
That's a static test. So in reality, that's not really how the real world works. So when we've taken tests, when we've taken filters as Donaldson into the real world and put them onto actual equipment, we've found there's a phenomenon that happens, which is as the machine is moving around and shaking other bits and pieces, it's possible for parts of the dirt that are within the filter that have been caught to get released while it's being shaken. So in order to do an advance for this, Donaldson has developed a new technology which is called Alpha Web. And it's basically a catch system, a nanofiber layer after the filtration, almost like a safety in an air filter system, to capture that released particle. So it's known as Alpha Web, and it's a multi-stage test that we do. So we're bringing a new type of testing to the forefront, which is literally known as alpha testing, and it massively outperforms a lot of the competitors as well. So it is a catch layer, so an extra protection for safety, and that's rolling into our OE customers and also into our aftermarket as well.
Perfect. Well, Ashley, we could go into a lot more detail about filtration, no doubt. But yeah, thank you very much for giving us a flavour, and yeah, hopefully we might catch you around again sometime.
Thank you very much.
Spot on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right folks, so if you want to know about slurry couplings, then this is the man. This is Stephen Woodland, the Kramp slurry coupling guru, as he's known around these parts. So Stephen, yeah, simply, what are you showing off today, and what's the advice as well?
Well, the reason why we have this stand generally is because people have difficulty identifying which are the common couplings. So we made a few cutaways so that we could easily identify what the type of coupling it is. It's quite easy when we're looking at just an ordinary standard Bauer or a Parrot coupling, because they're quite easy to identify.
Yeah.
But
and are they fairly standard as well, the Bauer?
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It's easy to identify because the couplings are basically the other way round in terms of their clamps.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Italian D and A, they're so similar, the way they connect together, that unless you know what the differences are, it's hard to order your spare parts.
Right.
People was ordering spare parts thinking that they was one type, we'd send them out, then they'd return them saying they weren't the right ones. So we thought we'd come up with an idea of how easy it is to identify them.
Right.
Once you know. These are the two rings that hold it together.
Yeah.
And the clamps go around the rings. And as you can see, the cross-section of the ring
it's very different. Yeah, yeah.
And that's one of the easiest ways to identify the difference between the two. Plus, we get different sorts of clamps. It's a small little clamp like that, and then the other one's a larger one. But unless you know that, all the round part, the connecting parts, look almost identical.
Right, so you could get the round bit wrong, you could get the clamp bit wrong, you could get the ring bit wrong, and you could get the O-ring wrong.
You could, yeah.
So you could get a real mixed match if you didn't just quite.
And we used to, on numerous occasions, people would get it wrong.
So this identification sheet that you've handily come up with, if I was buying these parts off you guys, where could I find out this info? Is it just all online? You go and have a look at it, and you should come across it.
You should too, yeah.
Right.
It's all on the info, so it just makes it easier for everybody to get the right thing, right time, first time.
And in terms of the couplings that you offer, or fittings as well, and even pipes, what are you offering in the Slurry world?
Well, we do everything from the couplings, and these are only just these are the problematic couplings. We do lots of other different couplings, stock couplings, and that, and we do a complete range of different size of the pipe.
Right.
Some more rigid than others, some flexible hose and that sort of thing, flat, round. So we do the whole gambit of what anybody would need in terms of their slurry application or management.
Well, Stephen, that is it's great to know. I always like a top tip like this. So, yeah, Stephen, thank you very much for your time. Perfect. So folks, to wrap up today then, I'm now joined by Philip, who is the son of the CEO of Kramp. And Philip's got a bit of a story as to how Kramp, as we know it, has come into existence, because I believe it was originally two family companies. So yeah, just give us a bit of a history lesson to finish off today.
That's completely correct. So it started all in the Netherlands. And my grandfather started a company called Perdok, which is our last name.
So that's your last name?
That's my last name for my family side. And we started in the north of the Netherlands, and then you had Kramp, which it's still the same name. That started in the east part of the Netherlands.
Right.
And then they merged, and we kept the name of Kramp because of their size already in that time. And but nowadays my father Eddie is the CEO, so it's.
He's the main man.
He's the main man, so it's our family company, but not with our name anymore on the door.
Gotcha. So your father, he'll be based in the Netherlands, is he?
Yes, yes.
And you're currently doing a period in the UK, aren't you?
Yeah. Right. 1 year of. So I started a year ago with my traineeship in the Netherlands, and so as part of that traineeship, you do different projects, and within Kramp we have the possibilities to also do projects in different countries. So we are active in almost every European country, and we have 12 distribution centra in all of Europe. So you have plenty of options, and I decided to come to the rainy UK.
I was going to say, so you decided to go to the sunny delights of the UK.
Yeah.
Now, today I've got a strong flavour of Kramp and what you guys are all about, and I've already been to Biggleswade, where you're based in the UK, on a previous visit, had a good look around the warehouse, and like I've already said at the top of this episode, I was absolutely blown away by what you guys are offering, just the vast array of product lines. So you seem to be a force to be reckoned with already. What is the future of Kramp?
I think the future of Kramp is that we want to be like the essential partner for our partners, so the dealers, which is we are a strictly business to business company, and we want to grow with the dealer beside us. So that's basically what we want to do, and we want to do this in an omni-channel way. So we want to serve not only the dealer, but also the people who came here today, so the farmers, the end users, but we want to do this with the dealer together. Yeah. And we developed a nice way to do this, so we can both profit and both keep the value chain intact.
Good stuff. Well, Philip, thank you very much for your time. That's been absolutely
amazing. Thank you.
Perfect. That a great little insight into Kramp. As ever, ladies and gents, for more behind the scenes specials such as this, just go check out LandPowerTV.com. While you're there as well, we've got all our machinery and technology reviews, we've got our customer reviews. Go and fill your boots. And as ever, thank you very much for watching. We will catch you again next time.